Good afternoon, everyone. So there's a concept called agenda bombing, like a photo bomb. Somebody takes a photo, you jump behind them, and you be a part of the photo, right? So I just did that. So it's an afternoon session, so we thought we'll do something slightly different. The topic says new technologies. This presentation is supposed to be somewhere a segue to that. The intention is to tell you something which you may not have seen before, because I've just got exposed to this about 6 months back. So in my professional career, last 1 year, I was able to work a lot with Google. So we all know, use, and we pretty much live Google. But the amount of data, the amount of insights they have, as a consultant, I got exposed to. And this is what I'm presenting. Many of them is a co-owned output of 6 studies which we did with Google. So that's a segue, because new technologies, there are 2 dimensions to it. One is, what are the new technologies? What can Kerala do about it? Which is the eminent panel, and we'll discuss. The other is, where will you apply that? However rudimentary be the technology, where are the new avenues to apply that? Irrespective of what kind of a company you are. You may be a banana chips company, that's okay. But how do I capture the emerging Indian technology-enabled market? That's what this is supposed to cover. So quickly, may not be visible, but this Gola says everything which is a new business in India. You just heard pepper fry outside. Pepper fry is only one element of the colors you're seeing there. There are at least 15 other colors, right from the obvious ones being the Flipkarts and the Paytms, to companies which are into gaming, companies which are into education, companies which are into fintech, companies which are into digital classifieds, companies which are into recruitment. These are companies which live, breathe new technologies and internet. And how do we as a state capture a pie out of this? This is a big question to answer. And you see a circle outside which is gray in color. Can you see gray color outside? Those are the guys who actually make money. The guys inside are bleeding somebody else's money. The people outside make money from within. So these are companies like your packaging companies, your courier companies, your logistics companies, your warehousing companies, your companies which are into imaging, photography for the new companies. They all have high margins. Now, how do we, from a technology perspective, be feeders into this ecosystem is a thought for all of us. 2, some new technology channels. These are technology-enabled channels for us. There are about 35,000 Aadhaar centers in India, technology-enabled. They're technically useless now. But 1.2 billion people have an Aadhaar card. Our population is 1.28 or whatever. So what do these guys do every day? There's nothing much to do. They're digitally enabled centers, right? 2, IRCTC, a technology giant or technology dinosaur in the country. Now they are saying, we want to partner with people like you in any manner. So IRCTC wants to do train commerce. IRCTC wants to sell insurance. I can see some financial services friends here. They want to sell financial services products through the train commerce concept. I don't know if many of you would be aware of this too. 3, there are multiple distribution centers. If you see, there is a logo of Via there. There's a logo of ShopX. There's a logo of Store King. They combined have 1.8 lakh outlets in India, which are digitally connected and have a wallet, a closed group wallet. Now, what do you want to sell there? It's up to us. The overall lending ecosystem which has been brought up. The small finance banks, they're finding it difficult to sell CASA, right? What more can they do for all of us? The last is what I put there as your e-commerce platforms we all are partnering with. So a new enterprise horizontal channel is being created in the country, and we know this because it's actually happening. I see again financial services players here. Carvey is known to us as a brokerage firm, right, sir? Carvey is into distribution of LED bulbs through the technology platform, right? It's a brokerage firm, that's what we know. They distribute LED bulbs in rural areas through their Aadhaar outlets using a technology platform. The world is changing. Right? Some numbers, we are consultants, we love throwing numbers. And I just need one number from this slide for all of you. This was a population to internet people, number of internet users, to smartphone users, to wallet users. But a critical number here is the number of English-speaking Indians. We have only 175 million people who speak English, speak, read, write English. But the number of people who are using internet is 450 million. Who are the others? So we have 235 million Indian language internet users in the country. They shop, they do something or the other. This number is mine with Google. You won't see this number anywhere else. Right? Now these guys, next level, they have smartphones also. Now as practitioners of selling whatever as entrepreneurs, do you look at these characters as well? They all are like, they look like you and me, but they don't speak English, right? The Malayali internet user. Unfortunately, this was a shocker for me when I did this study. These are my study outputs, okay? I'm not taking too much time. The top shows what percent of the crowd in a state speaks only the local language. And in Kerala, it's about 50%, 40 million to 22 million. The rest of the states, it's far higher because their English penetration is lower. But the bottom graph says, unfortunately, 27% Malayalis are adopting internet. I was really surprised, and Google proves this number. Is there a play for all of us to enhance this number as a technology player, or capitalize the void of white space of people who are actually online in the country? Very interesting stats, especially the bottom two. The non-English speakers believe English is not reliable. They don't trust English. Online, digital, whatever you call it, they don't trust English. Rural Indians spend more time online than you and me. Roughly about 20% more time than you and me online. Right. The last one, if there are any media companies around, about 90% of the people are more likely to respond if an ad is in their local language. Stats which we have never thought. I mean, I would have never thought this would have been the case a year back. The world is slightly changing in India. Now, when it comes to digital payments, thanks to Demon and Paytm and Vijay Shekhar and others, again, surprisingly, there is a huge gap for the level of literacy in the state to the rest. If you see that last bar is Kerala, it's 20% today, compared to a Bangalore or a Karnataka, which is 37% adoption for digital payments, right? So these are primarily the English, non-English speaking people. We did a very large survey of non-English speaking people in Kerala and these states, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Bengal and others. News. Digital news is the buzz today. We all have multiple apps, right? Again, there is a very large void for Kerala to bridge. For the consumption of digital news online, we are about 43% of the people who are actually browsing or actually online compared to some of the other states. Say, for example, if you look at the Tamil news consumption, our neighbors, they are almost 50% more than the consumption in Kerala. Digital entertainment, it could be YouTubes and whatever it is. There we are more or less there, but for the size of the industry we should have been maybe 90%. Because Hindi is 93%. The left extreme number you see is Hindi, it's 93%. And Kerala is at 77%. Is there a void there? Which sectors are rising within digital? One, obviously, it's payments. Some numbers for all of us. We expect this kind of number growth in the country. About 540 million non-English speaking Indian users are going to be there by 4 years. Of which about 200 plus or minus 200 million users will be paying online, digital payments. Smartphones, it's an interesting stat. We are expecting 10 times growth in the number of smartphone to feature phone ratio. Today for a smartphone, or for one feature phone sold, there are 6.6 smartphones sold. We are expecting it to be 10 times in the next 4 years. The last one is very important for most practitioners. The consumption of data by all of us. Today the average is hovering around 2 GB or something like that. We expect it to be 7 GB. 1.5 GB to 7 GB in the next 4 years, thanks to all the trigger which Geo brought in. Online education. As a sector where there is a very large opportunity for most of the new technologies my co-panelists will speak of. We're expecting a crazy jump to 1.96 billion. This number is online, quoted by both us and Google. Surprisingly, we are the most literate state. I am yet to know of a startup from Kerala which is big enough in our radar. I mean, obviously, there are startups with Kerala founders, but there's nothing which is big enough in the state which has created a lot of hype. And one strand here for all of us is nobody's bothered or caring where the startups are located. I mean, do you know where Candy Crush was made? 80% may not know, right? We still play those games. 30% users wants their interactive medium in the local language. Translation is a big industry in India. That's the message I want to give, not that you have to start your website in a local language. If you are internet professionals, technology professionals, translation as a business is significantly rising in the country. Do we have a game there? Think about it. Online gaming, this is where I bet, if I have money, I will really bet on. Gaming not for playing, gaming as a medium. We all play games casually, but we have no clue on the amount of data which is being captured, analyzed, and insighted out when there is a gaming game. Expecting to be a $1 billion industry. End of this month, there's an IPO expected of a gaming company in India, Nazara. They're one of the largest creators of games, right? Another large area for newer technologies. I'm still not very sure how many gaming creators are there in Kerala. These are gaming creators who will publish games later on some medium and then they move on. Real estate, our favorite sector in Kerala. We found out that 1 out of the 4 searches for real estate which is happening on Google in the country is coming from abroad. We are expecting a 4x growth in the online real estate transaction. We heard Pepperfry, there are the competitors as well. The amount of new technology enabled customer experience system they have created, I'm not sure whether their center, whatever he said here in Cochin has those centers. It's an extreme high-end virtual reality enabled interface which helps you buy your furniture with the dimension of the room you want to create. It's already there. Now, we may think like shoppers in Kerala, should I do it? But the question simply remains, am I creating the technology for it in the state? Online education, I touched upon. I just want to put the last bucket there. The amount of interest for online education from smaller towns has almost doubled in 1 year. Allahabad, Raipur, Shimla, dozen places. And we claim we are the best in education in the state. Right? We still believe education drives literacy in the state. So this is a large pie for us. Where is the education market? Reskilling and K-12. People want to have online interfaces for reskilling and K-12, a large pie. Last, my slide, online matrimony. People are now talking about infusing technology to prevent fraud. It's a little gray area because a lot of fake profiles and digital transactions are still a little hazy. But the growth we are expecting is about 2.5 times in the next 4 years. All the data what I spoke here is a joint output between us and Google. And I thought the intention of this deck, it's a little random what I showed here. There's no storyline in what I showed here. The intention is to be very clearly imbibing that there's a far different world outside the boundaries of Kerala today. Maybe our entrepreneurs are going outside and setting up shops. I actually asked Byju's once, why are you setting up a shop in Bangalore? Right? You're a Mallu entrepreneur, why are you not here? I asked ID Fresh guys, why are you setting up a shop in Bangalore? Idli dosa batter can be anywhere, right? So something is wrong here. 2, do we always want fame or do we want money? Because the first slide I showed here, do you want money, then be on the outskirts. If you want fame, you can be in the middle. So the choice, because it's already industry is matured. The technology industry, if I call this the technology industry, it's matured, pretty much matured. So do we make money or do we make fame? Right? And that's the message I wanted to leave to the larger crowd. And I have just 2 cheeky points before I close. I'm unwell today, really unwell. I'm not keeping well. And I just went to our Le Meridian. I said, I want coconut water. Any guess what happened? Quickly. I got a coconut, well-polished coconut, which was peeled off with a gadget. And I drank, it was unusually sweet. And I said, something is wrong with the coconut, it's too smooth. Sir, imported from Thailand. I'm not joking. Just try out at the coffee shop at Le Meridian. Right? Something is wrong with the state. Number 2, question for all of you. Is there a banana chips brand in Kerala? Which I know, we all know. I doubt. There's no 100 crore company. Right? Third, just another straight question back to the technology so that there's a segue. Which is the most downloaded and used app in the country? Any names, please? To my panelists as well. Any names? Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube. No. So the unofficial, I'm telling you here, last year they were the 5th, this year they are the 1st. It's an app called Share It. Share It Without internet, you can share peer-to-peer documents and music and all. Rural adoption is significantly high. In India, it's a Chinese app. Now, what's in that app? The technology experts would say, what's in that app? It's a peer-to-peer Bluetooth-enabled technology or technology-enabled data sharing app. It's used by your drivers, your servant maids in the rural areas, or in the panchayat area. People converge. Hey, do you want to watch this video? I'll share it with you. There's no internet. Somebody's very basic idea. With that, I'll stop and I'll go back to the team and we'll have a different kind of a discussion. Thank you, everyone.